So this is what I want to talk about next, how all this stuff started with me. I want you to do what exactly I tell you to do. I said, all right, Trevor. So Trevor called me up at 1 o'clock in the morning and said, look, I need you to go to the ER. I looked out the window. I said, Trevor, it's snowing outside. He said, exactly. Don't your knees and your back hurt? All instructions. That's when they first came out with them dumb phones. I can't remember what phone was out, but they first come out with, not the first when they came out with phones, but people just was getting on to having phones because phones wasn't popular back in, what's that, 2010, they wasn't popular like that. They wasn't. So you can say what you want to say, but people had phones, but it wasn't as popular as it right now. All this social media stuff was going on, all that stuff wasn't going on back then. So he called my phone, I looked on it, he said, I need you to go to the ER. I went to the ER, he said, if you do this, you'll get that. So I do understand that the VA system is results driven. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the results. You might have to put that work in 15 times to get the proper result. So no two people paperwork is the same. No two people claims are the same. No two people medical conditions are exactly the same. We can cancel in and cancel out and this, that, and third, but it's all about preparation. You got to prepare yourself for the fight. Nobody's going to give you nothing. Now, let me get to this. I went to Perry Point. The ex-wife called me up and said, did you put a large amount of money in a bank account? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even have a job. I'm sitting up here trying to figure out how I'm gonna stop drinking liquor. In the place up there with all these people that's inpatient, they banging at the doors and, I feel like you're in a jail cell and, it was very uncomfortable. So when I went to the intake, I said, look, I have to have a room to myself. I can't sleep in a room with nobody else because I don't know where they come from, what they do, and we're not doing all that. So they put me in a room by myself. So I came to the front desk. She faxed the paperwork to the charge nurse. And I'm letting y'all know something. I went back in my room and looked at that paperwork. I was 70% service connected for injuries, conditions, and disabilities from my service by following instructions, people. Are we together? Are we here? Is God in the room? Following instructions. We didn't have no computers. It didn't exist. So I'm in my room reading this paperwork like, what is this? I try to call up Trevor. He ain't answering the phone. I try to call up Kelly. I'm calling, nobody's answering the phone. I'm like, I gotta get a pass and go back to Baltimore. This is like on a Thursday. I go to the counselor, I said, look, I need to go to Baltimore. I said, Mr. Childs, you can't go to Baltimore because it's a lot of trauma in Baltimore for you. It's like, I gotta go to Baltimore. He said, it's an emergency. I said, I got a family situation going on. They gave me a 1-day pass from 5:30 in the morning to 5 in the evening. So I had to get on the shuttle. I took that paperwork, I caught that shuttle at 5:30 in the morning. It got me to the VA at 6:30. I know the group started at 8, so I'm walking around, I got some coffee, I'm walking around. I know Trevor and Kelly is gonna be in this building at this time, but they wasn't answering their phone. So I went up to the 6th floor where the mental health clinic is at, with that paperwork in a book bag. I'm looking for Trevor and Kelly in the different groups, because they got different rooms, they got different groups. I couldn't find them. So this white guy was walking down the hallway. I said, have you seen Trevor? He said, he just went in that bathroom. This is the God's honest truth. I goes in the bathroom. I said, Trevor. He said, Jamal, what are you doing in there? I kicked the stall open with the paper while he was on a toilet. He said, Cole, hold up. I said, hold up. What is this? He said, Jamal, just wait a minute. I'm standing by the sink. He gets up and washes his hands. He looks at the paper. People. He said, see? I said, see what? You're 70%. I said, why did you do my paperwork? I want people to hear what I'm telling them. He said, I did your paperwork because you sat up front, you took notes, and you paid attention, and you didn't give them no problem. This is what we call instructional. That's what the man said to me. I said, what? He said, you sat up front, like Kelly told me. He said, sit up front, don't engage with the people, take notes, Make sure you take notes, and then you have the conversation about what's going on. I didn't even know what I was doing. I literally didn't know what I was doing. All I know is the man said, do this and do this and do this, right? So I said, check this out. That's what I'm gonna do. I gotta be back up at Prairie Point by 5:30. So I'm gonna go to the bank. I'm gonna give you $1,500 of this. Can I tell y'all people this? This is how God works, because you know, people don't wanna hear what's real. They wanna hear what they wanna hear. How all this Conquering the Octopus started from going impatient and listening to what somebody's telling me to do. He said, I don't want the money. I said, I'll give you 2,000 out of 16,500. He said, I don't want it. I said, well, what do you want? He said, this is what I want you to do. Can you hang around until after the group? I said, man, it's going on 8:30. Where else is I'm going there? I can go to Lexington and get me something to eat. I can go get you some money for you helping me out. He said, after the group, I'm gonna tell you what I need you to do. I'm looking at this guy like, what the hell is going on? This is crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, after the group, he said, this is what I need you to do. I want you to help these veterans. I'm looking at him like, what? He said, Jamal, I've been watching you for weeks. You are passionate, you're very attentive, you don't disturb things, and you know how to do things. Well, a lot of people don't know I was a union rep. I worked at Johns Hopkins Hospital for 10 years negotiating contracts and saving people jobs. I am a speed reader. I know how to play chess. So you take that combination, and then I'm looking at this VA stuff like, well, I said, I didn't do the paperwork, you did the paperwork. He said, look, I need you to help these veterans. I said, man, I don't know about all that. I mean, I'm like lost. He said, I want you to think about it. That man never took a penny from me. I got back on that shuttle and it hit me. I'm going across the bridge to Cecil County. I said, you know what? It hit me. My father said, when you stop drinking, you'll be your best. It hit me. I got back to Prairie Point. I got on my knees and prayed to God for guidance and direction. I played Shirley Caesar for days. This is the truth. People don't even know the research, the education, the late nights to figure out how to navigate that damn system. I'm telling y'all this comes from my heart. I sit up there and listen to people when they say, you need to do this, I did it. So when I got up there, I said, you know what? I called him back a couple days. I said, I'm gonna do it. He said, I'm gonna show you how to navigate that system. I zipped my lip up and he said, I need you to study this. Let's get away from the drinks. Let's get away from the weed. Let's get away from the partying. Let's get to the business. He said, you can help a lot of people. TV show is to educate the veterans, the general public, and family members on how to navigate the Veterans Benefits Administration and Health Administration of Veterans Affairs. I'm presenting to the general public and the world